Welcome to my Tales of the Jedi episode 4 breakdown and review. Let's jump in and I'll go over my thoughts at the end. So we start with Dooku inside the temple archives. He makes his way into a section where he inputs the code of Sifo Dyas. Now at this point, I think Sifo Dyas is dead, so Dooku is the one who erases Kamino's archive data. He then finds Jocasta Nu, where she tells him that everybody's in a panic because Qui-Gon's brush with Maul on Tatooine is now out in the open. Jocasta doesn't really believe Qui-Gon's story, and she thinks it's just his imagination. Dooku's response is interesting.
Quality valued less and less in these great halls.
We then see Qui-Gon, voiced by Liam Neeson, which is so awesome, walking with Yaddle. She reinforces what Jocasta and essentially the rest of the council see with Qui-Gon's story. They don't take it seriously. The arrogance and ego of the council is really showing. Next, we see Dooku standing at the Unity tree in the temple. At this point, Qui-Gon has now been killed by Maul. He talks to Yaddle about how much Qui-Gon loves this tree. These are trees that are force sensitive, and they're said to be older than Master Yoda. Yaddle recognizes that Dooku holds the council responsible. She senses something wrong with Dooku, so she follows him into the building where we know that Dooku meets with Darth Sidious in secret. Now, this is also the place where after Order 66, the original base of the Inquisitors was located before it was moved to the Fortress Inquisitorius on the moon Nur. Now, Dooku is pretty upset at Sidious for having Maul kill Qui-Gon. You can tell that his former apprentice has a special place with Dooku and that he really does still care for him. Of course, Sidious is completely unemotional. They both lost an apprentice, but clearly Sidious does not care about Maul. Yaddle then confronts him, and she's actually the first Jedi to see the Sith Lord. She overhears Sidious tell Dooku that sacrifices will have to be made in order to remake the galaxy, and Dooku thinks that Qui-Gon would have made a powerful ally. This is where Dooku is clearly mistaken about his former apprentice. Just because Qui-Gon disagrees with the Council a lot, he understands what the people view as corruption with the Republic and the Jedi. This doesn't mean that Qui-Gon would have joined the Sith, and Sidious, he knows that too. Now, Dooku reveals that he betrayed everyone, all of the Jedi, Sifo Dyas, Kamino, the clones, which is why he used Sifo Dyas' code to erase Kamino in the archives. As Yaddle then appears, Sidious thinks that Dooku has betrayed him. Or so it seems. I think Sidious knew that Dooku didn't betray him, but he's trying to manipulate him here. His accusation of Dooku betraying him causes Dooku to really overcompensate by attacking Yaddle to prove his loyalty. She then tries to convince Dooku to leave with her when Sidious orders Dooku to kill her. This scene is so tense and emotional. It's so good. It's absolutely beautiful. Sidious is preying on the feelings of Dooku the same way he does later with Anakin. He sees the issues Dooku has with the Jedi Council and with the corrupt Senate and uses this to turn Dooku. He's an absolute master at finding weaknesses or doubts and exploiting them. As Dooku and Yaddle fight, she tells Dooku that he was right about the Council and that she stepped down from her position on the Council, and he was right about so many things. Qui-Gon died because they didn't take him seriously. The government was corrupt, the Council became a puppet for the Senate, but for Dooku, this all comes way too late. He is now turned to the dark side. He brings down the door onto Yaddle where he thinks it's finally over. Sidious grants Dooku the title of his apprentice. That killing Yaddle was his final test, which of course that position was now open, with Maul being killed by Obi-Wan on Naboo. Now, Yaddle opens the door with the Force in an absolutely beautiful scene, and the music here, of course, is fantastic as well. Now, she falls into the room where Dooku finally finishes her off, sealing both of their fates. So we now have the final chapter of Dooku's fall to the dark side. What started as him recognizing corruption and the Jedi losing their way has been twisted and manipulated by the dark side and Darth Sidious. Yaddle even tells him as she dies that so many have suffered because of what he calls order. The parallels of what Sidious does to turn both Anakin and Dooku is absolute poetry. Anakin wanted to only save Padme and became disillusioned by the Council, and particularly Mace Windu. Dooku, seeing the corruption in the Senate and the Jedi Council, became disillusioned as well, and Sidious used these as tools to manipulate each Jedi to the dark side, twisting their minds into doing his bidding, all while making them believe that what they were doing was just and right. Just an absolutely beautiful episode, filling in a lot of the gaps of Dooku's fall. I mean, it's just brilliant. Alright guys, once my episode 5 review is done, I'll link it here, but also make sure to subscribe, and may the Force be with you.